Good evening. It is your boy Big D, bringing you yet another Eagles recap. Now you're probably asking yourself, why is there a broom in the background? I'll tell you why. Because we have just swept the Washington Redskins. First season sweep of the season. 6-1, baby. 6-1. And you want to know something crazy? I'm going to tell you something. I low-key predicted this shit. I did. And if you don't believe me, I want you to watch this clip right here and right now. This was a clip from right when we faced the Kansas City Chiefs. It was right before we faced them. It was my outlook, saying we could afford to lose a game. I want you to look at this right here. Here we go.
Here's where I kind of think a little bit differently from Desert Eagle 90. I still think we will lose, but I feel like this is a game we can afford to lose. I don't want to think like that, but what I mean by that is if we lose today, I don't think it'll be that big a deal because we could lose this game and potentially go on a winning streak. Who do we got after Kansas City? The fucking Giants? Yeah, give me a break. We almost always beat them. The Chargers? The Chargers don't look very good so far. The Cardinals? Fucking hate those bastards. That team always gives us fits. It could be differently this time because the Cardinals looked like shit last week. And after that, I believe we got the Panthers, which we could win. All we got to do is force Cam Newton to fuck up. And I believe the 49ers, Redskins. To be honest with you, we could easily be looking at 5-1, 6-1, realistically, when you really stop to think about it. That's basically my outlook on this.
See? I did say that. I was fucking right, wasn't I? Yeah. I was the guy that said that if we were 1-0, we were about to face the Kansas City Chiefs. I was the guy that said we could drop the game to Kansas City and then we could go on a winning streak and potentially be 5-1, 6-1. And here we are at 6-1. And if we win the games we're supposed to win, we should be able to go into the bye week 8-1. We should. But we'll see what happens. Anyway, how about the fucking refs at the beginning of the game? This fucking bastard Ed Hockley. Not as bad as Pete Morelli, but still, I hate that motherfucker. I hate him. That dude needs to fucking retire. Yeah, he called probably 3 to 4 penalties in a row on our first drive. Like, after he calls the second penalty on us and immediately gets fucking booed. The crowd was fucking shitting all over him. And people were freaking out on Twitter. We're like, yep, it's going to be one of those games again. But sure enough, the game was more evenly officiated. When I get into the stats, maybe I'll mark penalties down. But right now, yeah, the game was more evenly officiated than it was the last time. There were some no calls on them. There were also some no calls on us. Like when Chris Long jumped off sides, nobody saw that. And Carson Wentz threw a sloppy interception the first time. But after that, Carson Wentz just fucking was on fire tonight. And fucking how about John Gruden during this goddamn game? Jesus fucking Christ, man. There were times where he was making excuses for the fucking Washington Redskins when the Eagles were making good plays. But you want to know the time? Maybe not every time. Maybe I'm just exaggerating. But when Gruden wasn't being a dickbag, making excuses for Washington, was during Carson Wentz plays. If you heard Gruden, he was blowing Carson Wentz's dick all game. He really was. But that just basically goes to show you what the rest of the league thinks of him. I can make a case here. The league thinks very highly of Carson Wentz right now. And to be honest with you, that's huge. And there's a lot of talk going around that Carson Wentz could be a shoo-in for the league MVP this year. And it wouldn't surprise me if he won it. Now, I will say this, and don't take this the wrong way when I say this. Yeah, I know. I'm wearing gloves. It's because the motherfucker I can. If you don't like it, unsub. But to be honest with you, I kind of don't want Wentz to win MVP because, to be honest with you, I don't want to throw the S word around. And I'm not going to predetermine shit, but if it happens, if we do make it to the Super Bowl and they decide to give Carson Wentz the MVP, we ain't gonna fucking win. But I think if we make a decent playoff run, if we keep playing the way we are, I think he will win. If he outplays Tom Brady. But anyway, yeah, Carson Wentz was on fire. How about that one play when Carson Wentz? How about that one play when Carson Wentz? It looked like he got sacked on third down, and then he just emerged from a pile of bodies and darted for a first down. There were a shit ton of injuries in this game. Jason Peters got injured. Trent Williams on the other team got injured. Brandon Scherff. I don't know if Jason Peters heard it, but you definitely heard Brandon Scherff. When Brandon Scherff got injured, I don't know if any of you caught this, but Scherff yelled "fuck." He yelled "fuck" when he got injured. You could tell the injuries were frustrating the shit out of him. He was on and off the field numerous times. I mean, Carson Wentz was incredible. I mean, there were times where Clement and Ertz made some decent plays, but they gave Carson Wentz all the credit for it. Which again, also, the league thinks very highly of Carson Wentz. I'm just gonna say that right here and right now, and that could be either good or bad for us, but it's still huge. But anyway, let's get into the stats, the overall stats. Here we go. We'll start with Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz was 17 of 25, 268, 4 touchdowns, and an interception. Sloppy interception the first drive, but immediately took off after that. Kirk Cousins was 30 for 40, 303, 3 touchdowns, including one in garbage time, and an interception, which Brandon Graham enforced. Rushing, Wentz attempted 8 for 63, including a 21-yarder. LeGarrette Blount, 14 carries for 29 yards and 21-yarder. LeGarrette Blount really was non-existent this entire game. He was stuffed in the backfield numerous times. But some of it was due to the fact that Jason Peters was out and Big Vagina can't block for shit. Wendell Smallwood was 8 for 25, including 9-yarder. Clement was 1 for 6. Barner was 2 for 4. Redskins, Chris Thompson was 7 for 38. Kirk Cousins was 3 for 18. Rob Kelly was 7 for 16. And Jamison Crowder was 1 for 3. Receiving, Zach Ertz was 5 for 89, including a beastly touchdown. Matt Collins caught that bomb from Carson Wentz on third down to give us our first touchdown, a 64-yard touchdown. Nelson Aguilar got 4 catches for 45 yards and a touchdown. Alshon Jeffrey only caught 2 passes for 37. Alshon Jeffrey's been pretty fucking quiet. Let this sink in, people. Nelson Aguilar has been our best receiver this season. It's a fact. And the announcers were fucking all over him. We're like, oh my god, what an improvement, what a turnaround Aguilar has this season. I mean, the announcers were even talking about it. Smallwood was 2 for 14. Clement was 1 for 9, including a touchdown, which was beautiful. Burton was 1 for 7. Selleck was 1 for 3. Vernon Davis was 4 for 67. Jordan Reed was 8 for 64. 2 touchdowns, including one in garbage time. Doxton was 3 for 39. Paul was 1 for 32. Jamison Crowder was 2 for 28. Chris Thompson was 5 for 26, including a walk-in touchdown. I don't know what the fuck that was. Ryan Grant was 3 for 19. Rob Kelly was 2 for 14. Terrell Pryor was 2 for 14. So we basically we neutralized their biggest threats. I mean, I was shitting on the defense all game, but they came through when it mattered. Anyway, on the defense, Malcolm Jenkins got a sack. Derek Barnett got 2 sacks. I was shitting on him early on in the game because he was making mistakes early on. I mean, my patience was wearing thin, but he redeemed himself big time. Fletcher Cox had a sack. Brandon Graham... No. Brandon Graham inspired an interception, which was caught by Corey Graham. And that's about it. Zach Brown forced a fumble, got a sack and a half. Gillette got a half sack. Ryan Kerrigan got a half sack. And Quentin... Is it Quentin Dunbar? Yeah, it's Quentin Dunbar. Quentin Dunbar got an interception. It looked like he was going to be a problem early on, but eventually we caught on. As far as fumbles go, Crowder fumbled, and Holsley recovered. Carson Wentz fumbled twice, recovered 1, and Corey Clement recovered 1. And kicking, Rose was 1 for 1, 3 for 3, 6 points total. Jake Elliott was 2 for 3. At the end, when he kicked the field goal, the streak is finally over, including a 50. He was 2 for 3, including a 50-yarder. 4 for 4 extra points, 10 points total. To be honest with you, I mean, I'm very proud of this team, and I don't want to hear any fucking excuses from any of the Eagles naysayers or haters or fans from the other team. I don't want to fucking hear it. Save it. No Norman, no this, no that. Guess what? We didn't have Hicks for most of the game. We don't have Darby back yet. I don't want to fucking hear it. Anyway, great fucking win by the Birds. Hopefully we can keep it going. Let's bring on the 49ers next week. Speaking of the 49ers, how about the fucking Dallas fan base? All of a sudden they crush a winless team and all of a sudden they're beating on their motherfucking chests. It's like, bitch, sit the fuck down, you fucking cockroaches. We should be able to decimate San Fran next week. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. I need to relax because I'm just pumped as hell. Like the vid, subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. 6-1. I low-key predicted it.